While massive street rallies define West Bengal's political landscape, the 2026 election is shaped by a quiet, systemic crisis deep within the state's voter rolls. Democracy relies on the integrity of the ledger. When millions of legitimate names vanish from that list without explanation shortly before an election, the basic mechanics of the vote are called into question. The bureaucratic scale of this issue is immense. Currently, approximately 6 million individual voter cases have been flagged for official scrutiny and adjudication. The primary battleground for 2026 has moved into the administrative offices, where the outcome may be decided by paperwork rather than public debate. This crisis is driven by Form 6, the standard application for new voter registration. The system was recently overwhelmed when nearly 30,000 of these forms were submitted in a single day. Opposition parties claim this spike represents an attempt to inject thousands of illegitimate voters into the rolls. In response, the Election Commission maintains that its verification process remains strictly rule-based and transparent. This chart illustrates why these revisions are so critical. In many of West Bengal's closely contested constituencies, a shift of just 2,000 to 3,000 votes on the registry can entirely flip the seat. Manipulating the voter list provides a mathematical path to altering the state's power dynamics. At this scale, administrative changes can override broader shifts in public opinion. Bengal's political history shows how localized grievances dismantle long-standing regimes. For 34 years, the Left Front maintained a hold on power that seemed unbreakable. That control eroded when land acquisition protests in Singor and Nandigram sparked a wave of ground-level anger that resonated across the state. This localized frustration eventually shattered the 34-year incumbency, facilitating Mamata Banerjee's rise to power in 2011. History suggests that in Bengal, systemic failures that impact the common voter often lead to a significant realignment of political power. Today, after 15 years in power, the ruling government faces a similar test of incumbency, with the voter list crisis serving as the central point of contention. The Trinamool Congress frames these voter roll issues as a form of federal interference, designed to undermine their regional authority from the outside. Conversely, the BJP describes the ruling party's reactions as an attempt to leverage fear and administrative control to mask growing dissatisfaction with the government. These dueling narratives have moved from the headlines into the streets, manifesting as intense roadshows and heightened tension at the booth level. The dry, bureaucratic process of voter list revision has successfully mutated into a cycle of physical roadshows and localized street confrontations. For many citizens, the bureaucratic friction is personal. Longtime voters are finding their identities questioned, leading to widespread confusion outside state election offices. To counter this, the incumbent government relies on trust built through rural welfare schemes, which traditionally secure a strong base among female voters. This loyalty is being tested by the frustration of youth and migrant workers, who face economic hardship and now feel increasingly distanced from the voting process. The 2026 election serves as a test for these forces, the security provided by rural welfare schemes, against the anger of those who find their access to the ballot box blocked by administrative friction. On polling day, millions will stand in line to face the machines that record their choice and decide the state's future. The primary unknown is whether the state's established welfare model can withstand the complications introduced by this procedural labyrinth. Ultimately, the election is a test of the democratic system's ability to remain transparent under pressure. Will the history of Bengal in 2026 be written by the legitimate vote or by the contents of the voter list?